I'm confused, okay? Like I have thoughts. I have thoughts and feelings, and it is so frustrating to be here. It just, I don't know why. It just, the frustration is not, it's not going away. Like, I don't know why people won't just, like, let us be. You know what I'm saying? Like, why won't they just leave us alone? And I mean, like, understand that, like, we don't really, like, agree with them. We're not on board with the bullshit. And they, why can't everyone just go live in peace? Like, I snip these videos together so that you guys can see them for yourself, because I don't want you to feel like I'm just talking to a wall and I'm not making the same points, because like I think it's nuts that we're having the same conversations like over and over again. So like I saw this today. So I saw that like Drake posts this video about how his mom, like, you know, she's crying all the time, and now she finally gets to win because, like, she raised him, and it's like some fucking sob story about, like, another single mother. And it's like his fucking father was there. So, you know, actually, I'll clip this now. This is the little snippet of, like, Kanye West talking about how he should have been aborted. Snip now.
Who do you think might have protected the child? 23 years ago, who do you think protected the child? Your mom. My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
Here's what I have to say about this. This really happened, okay? Like, he actually fucking said this because it's true. I don't know why people keep, like, pretending like they don't understand the stats. So, I guess today the Young American Foundation had some black guy talking about, like, the problems in black America. And I've got to say, I agree, but also, like, I just don't care anymore. Like, nothing gets better because like nobody cares. Also, protect black women, as in like black women, protect other black women by like being serious. All this, like, I'll snip the video now. Snip.
The most serious evil of our times is that of encouraging the bringing into the world of large families. The most immoral practice of the day is breeding too many children. Women in the New Race, chapter 5, 1920. Eugenics without birth control seems to be, to us, a house built upon sands. It is at the mercy of the rising stream of the unfit. Birth control and racial betterment, 1919. As an advocate of birth control, I wish to take advantage of the present opportunity to point out the unbalance between the birth rate of the unfit and the fit. Admittedly, the greatest present menace to civilization can never be rectified by the inauguration of a cradle competition between these two classes. The eugenic value of birth control propaganda in 1921. A marriage license shall in itself give husband and wife only the right to a common household, not to the right of parenthood. America needs a code for babies, 1934. No woman shall have the legal right to bear a child, and no man shall have the right to become a father without a permit for parenthood. America needs a code for babies, 1934. No permit for parenthood shall be valid for more than one birth. America needs a code for babies. Apply a stern and rigid policy of sterilization and segregation to that grade of population whose progeny is tainted or whose inheritance is that objectionable traits may be transmitted to offspring. My Way to Peace, 1932. These two words, birth control, sum up our whole philosophy. It means the release and cultivation of the better elements of our society and the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extinction of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization. Highlights in the history of birth control, 1923. All of our problems are the result of overbreeding among the working class. Knowledge of birth control is essentially moral. Its general, though prudent practice must lead to a higher individuality and ultimately to a cleaner race. All of those quotes came from a woman by the name of Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is the founder of an organization called Planned Parenthood. Roe v. Wade resulted in the death of over 20 million black babies in the womb. That was her plan. If you want to talk about a policy that has had the most terrible effects upon the black community, there was a point in time in New York City, more black babies were being murdered in the womb than were being born. Planned Parenthood, that's her goal. 70 to 73% of their clinics are in minority communities. And so you don't want these young black, I don't know how many of y'all have ever heard of Kermit Gosnell. You should go back and read about him. But if you don't want to have this unfit race of human weeds to exist, and if they are able to be born, then you don't want them to have a quality education. Then on top of that, you decimate the family so they don't have stability in the home. And then you force them into all of these other things such as gangs and violence and things of this nature. You promote a policy that says we don't want law enforcement where it is really needed in many of the inner city communities. And folks, let's be very honest. I could quote the statistics, but it's the black on black crime that is the most devastating for the black community today. You can look at that in any city.
Okay, yes, that was like 5 fucking minutes, right? And you had to watch that. But hopefully you actually did watch it, and hopefully you actually got something from it, just to kind of understand that, like, I'm not like making these stats up. Like, you can go read the articles that he's talking about. Margaret Sanger really did say all that shit, but she actually had a point. I think I've made other videos about this where I talked about like poverty in the black community. I'll put those in the description box, but like, I'm frustrated, okay? Like, I'm frustrated. Why are people pretending like they literally don't know that like black women are throwing babies in the trash can? Quite literally every day, all day, every day, just like fucking gummy worms, because black life doesn't matter in this fucking country. Be serious. The black birth rate has stayed stagnant at like 12%. The only reason that like anyone is being born, I'm convinced that like people are tricking women. They're like drugging them in alleys and just snatching babies out. Cause like, please, you've got to be on crack to like actually want to like go through this awful experience. It's like every fucking black woman that you talk to has this awful, awful, awful experience. I've been clipping them and making like commentary videos to it. Black women, the best thing you could do for yourself is just get a fucking apartment and lock the door. Lock la doro, okay? Like, just, you have to like let the men go on and do, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're doing in their lives. Like, go make more Too Short videos or something. Who knows? But all I'm telling you is like live in the real world. I'll snip the Michael Knowles video in now because I guess like it needs to be said. Okay, snip now.
Says, I've never heard a coherent argument for abortion that did not also imply that it would be perfectly fine to kill other various human demographics. One of the arguments that cynical people make for abortion is that it's good because these kids, they'll all be on welfare and probably grow up and commit crime. And this is a very racist argument because everyone who makes that argument is saying that it's good to kill the little black kids, but you wouldn't want to kill the precious little white kids who grew up in the suburbs. And the question you have to ask him is, which young black man in an inner city would you be willing to apply that logic to at the age of 24? And look him in the eye, because they're never called out on the absolute racial bigotry of it all. In New York City, more black babies are killed in the womb than are born. That is horrific, and future generations will look on that barbarity with great moral opprobrium, and will look on the people who advance that with great moral opprobrium. And if this fellow is a Christian, then when he gets to St. Peter's Gate someday, I have a feeling that the eternal judge is not going to look very well on him spouting horrific heresy that has led people possibly of good faith astray. He will meet the millstone in the next world, and it would be better for him to correct his views in the present. All of that is to say, you should always take the level-headed approach. Do not, you'll notice I'm not yelling or screaming about this man. I'm not yelling or screaming, even about abortion, even as the Democrat governor of Virginia says we should kill babies after they're born.
It's just frustrating. Like, I am frustrated. And knowing all of that, it doesn't change my mind. Like, Margaret Sanger had a point. Someone has to put a stop to it. Like, you can't just be a person who, like, sits here obliviously believing that, like, you know, things will change. When it's like, in the same way that I know these problems exist, the men know these problems exist too, and they still don't care. Yes, the white supremacists also know that these problems exist, but like we can't do anything about them. Like they are going to go where they are, and they are going to thrive and continue to move forward. Like there's nothing, right? The best thing that you can do for yourself is like this other guy said, you should definitely get an education for yourself. You should make sure that the quality of life for yourself is great. You should just make sure that like all of your personal needs are taken care of. That's what you should do for yourself. Be serious. If your family is like, you know, supportive, they love you, they are giving you things, putting things into your cup, well, that's great. But for the majority, I would say like 70% of people in the black community, that is just not the case. And that's okay. Leave those people in the past. Like, you have to let them go. All those quotes that Margaret Sanger was talking about, she's right. She's right. Turn on the radio, turn on the television. All you will see is like, Sexy Red doesn't care, okay? No rapper cares. No sports player cares. None of them care. And you get to a point, it's just like the frustration level does get to a place where it's like particularly high, and like you cannot, that stress will eat you up. That stress will kill you, actually. And like, you actually need rational people like me to come on and like be serious, be honest with you. Be honest with you. Be honest with you. I also want to say here, just because like I'm not like that biased, so I will put a link in the description box to like the pro-life argument. Like Ben Shapiro definitely makes the pro-life argument. I do feel like there's a possibility that there are people, that there are people who are listening to my channel, okay? Oh, I hate it when it does this. Yeah, so I know that there are people who listen to my channel who don't know that there are people who are pro-life, like lots of people who are conservative and pro-life, and they actually do believe in like the value and creation of babies. But here's the thing that really got me. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but basically it was like Andrew Tate and Elon Musk and can't remember this other guy. The other night they get on and they fucking, of all the shit that they could start talking about, they literally start to talk about the reproductive health of women. Oh, everybody should go out and have babies. Like, what is wrong with everyone? What the fuck is wrong? Like, what's wrong with all the people?
Instead of in the globalist hands. And so just because Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of every technology, don't fear the technology like some troglodyte. Fear us not being in control of it. And Elon is saying we need to be an expansionary human explosion of competition and freedom, not some new dark age with a tiny breakaway civilization that's only working for itself. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, but you're completely right, because if Elon doesn't push these boundaries, they will push these boundaries, and once they have the sole control and the monopoly over such technologies, it's over for all of us. And I don't think most people understand. It simply is the humanistic view against the death cult view. And there's people in the world who have no interest in growing humanity, no interest in advancing the species as a whole. Their interest is in power and control, and all they want to do is have absolute power over the people that currently exist and their children. And you can talk about all the perverse reasons they want to do those exact things, but it's truly scary. And all the people at home who don't really understand the gravity of this fight, they seem to think it's right wing, left wing, ha ha ha.
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about it the wrong way. It's sorry, I just got a little X here. But you're totally exactly. This right left it's the wrong way to think about it. It's the sort of the extinctionists versus the pro-humans. And once you see that it's extinctionists versus the pro-humans, then it becomes very clear.
So, Elon, when are you going to, I know you got 100 irons to the fire, but when you talk about we need to create a plan B for humanity, well, that's really...
No, it's not a plan B.
An alternate master plan. Because the globalists are in control right now. You're trying to wrest control with us. Helping. I mean, when are you going to put out your battle plan, or are you already putting it out in pieces?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that actually, I think we should expand humanity. Like basically, we should have basically more kids. Population should increase, and we should become a multi-planet species, and make life multiplanetary. Build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. And then ultimately, this will be long after I'm dead, probably, but almost certainly, we can go to other star systems and go out there and, I don't know, maybe we'll find some long dead alien civilizations. And I don't think we want to be one of those lame one planet civilizations that never got beyond, its home planet. I mean, we're gonna, what are the aliens gonna think of that? It's like we got to make a good showing. Team Human.
Well,
Let's go.
And that would absolutely that would be certainly disappointing. But it's essential, and truthfully, it's so amazing we'd even speak about these things. Only 2 years ago, you couldn't even speak about these subjects, but it's so pertinently obvious to anyone who pays attention, and it is scary. And expansion and humanistic views are certainly the way to progress, and it has to be done. There's no other way. Just like a business, just like you guys said, if you stand still, you die. And it takes a few brave people to break the matrix. You have to break the dam. And I think bravery is so important because it puts a crack in the dam, and it shows that if there's people out there brave enough to risk getting canceled, risk lawsuits, risk lawfare, then it's going to inspire bravery amongst the rest of the populace. And it becomes extremely hard to lie to brave people.
Why are men up here having podcasts about men can't have babies? I mean, like, they are not the womb carriers. Women carry wombs. Why is this not the conference? Like, there's no women on this panel. They're not trying to, like, talk to women about, this is what doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It would be much different if these people were trying to, like, facilitate conversations with women to be like, oh, I just love women so much. Whatever conversation Elon Musk in his personal life is having with Grimes or how many other baby mamas he has, sounds like his personal fucking business, right? But to have this, like, group of dudes, especially fucking Andrew Tate, up here talking about how they want to, like, populate the planet with, like, all these people. No. If you are sitting on here watching my channel specifically, we are the working class, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Especially if you're a woman. Don't be ashamed to be a member of the working class. What it means is that you have found a place in the membership of society. Especially if you're a part of the free world. Hello, welcome to fucking freedom. You've got 24 hours in every day that you can decide what to do with. You can spend some of those hours coming here. We can chat about things, okay? We can introduce new topics. You can go out, go to happy hour, go have yourself a dinner, grab a friend, go to dinner, okay? Like, go to an event. Trivia night is happening. Book clubs. I saw, so actually, who was I talking to about something? I think I was talking about how, like, how Will Smith had moved on, and I inspired 2 people to read both of their memoirs. Look at that. Just converting people to literature. Okay? Like, get a hobby. And don't let men shank you, okay, out of your existence for, them not being shit. Don't get me wrong, because I'm also not trying to pretend, like there are not men in society who do want families. But I think the thought process that I'm trying to bring forward here is that the men who want families have families. And I'm not talking about the men with the baby mamas. Those aren't the men who want the families. Those men are trash. And what I'm trying to encourage you to do is weed those men out of society. They already should have been weeded out, but like some stupid woman gave them a chance. Don't be that woman. Really, like, don't. The men who are marrying you, okay, the men who are like giving you princess treatment because you are literally a woman who is able to birth a child for a guy. Okay, the men who are treating you like you are worthwhile and providing you with the financial resources that you need to maintain a child in the developed fucking world, those men deserve children, and they will have children. It's the others that you gotta let go. Let them go. The men who fall into this category of, like, we'll call them breeders, or we'll call them worthy breeders, okay? The worthy breeders of society have already provided a cushy foundation for their offspring to thrive. And all I'm trying to encourage Black women to understand is, like, there seems to be this idea that there's a scarcity of men. There are not a scarcity of men. There are plenty of them. They're 50% of the population. What I am trying to get across specifically to Black women is that of the population of Black men, like 40% of them ain't shit. And like, but there's other men. You don't have to date only Black men. Like, Black men are not your like specific pool of people and all the people that you can talk to. All the men on planet Earth are like, there's a lot of men who are going to be attracted to you, especially if you're Black and you are attractive. There's a lot of men who are going to be attracted to you, but a lot of men are going to try to take things from you. A lot of men, the men who want to use all of their like parental cards on you are going to be few and far between. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not beautiful enough, that you don't have other things going for you. That's not really it. It's more like they have to make a choice of where they're going to put their parent card. Like, all the men are making that choice. So you just might not be like the top pick for their parent card. And that's fun. But you can't play the game of like, okay, let me like interview all of these different people to try to find the match, because there's millions and billions of men in the world. Obviously, you can't play this game with millions and billions of men. You can play it with like 3 or 4, maybe even less than that. There are just not that many who are worth anything. So what you can do is just like kind of live your life dodging them until, if an offer comes that is just too good to be true, and there's a ring and there's like a Whole Foods lifestyle, maybe take that. Because I will tell you, like, the Whole Foods moms, okay, who come in and buy the fruit tea from me, I see them, we chat, they're living a life, all right? The Green Hills moms with the fruit tea, they come in, they get the tea by the gallon. They go to the brunch, all right? They go to the church. The Ethiopian moms with the families go to that Orthodox church. I have it on the calendar. They're all going, okay? Like the people who are on the men who are on the family path to be breeders, they're on the path. It's a fucking merry-go-round. Nobody got off the path. I think the strange part is like y'all never saw the black women who were on the path and just voluntarily stepped off because they didn't like what they saw going forward. That's what I did. It's kind of like, I'm sorry, but I personally choose not to be on the path. I am way more interested in the philosophy of the human experience. And I know there's a couple of us out here who are. Like, don't let people shade you into staying on that, like, straight and narrow path of momdom just because you're female, just because you're pretty, just because you're whatever. You can be on the path of exploring human philosophy, and you don't have to be a speciesist, okay? I will show you guys newer pictures of my kitty cats. The current adopter has been sending me videos of them, so now I know what they're up to every day. I got a cat tree. Okay, things are happening, and all I'm saying is that, like, just don't let people shade you into, like, all of this conversation around abortion is just so strange. Like, why do they even care? It's like, it's frustrating enough for me to be upset. Like, I'm upset. Why do they care? If women want to abort, let them abort. You can't make women not abort. If you want to be a father so bad, then convince the woman that you're with to have your children. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Like, what do you care what some woman is doing in her life? Yes, black children are being aborted, but that's because, like, black men have made an awful society for black women. And until they fix that shit, those babies will continue to go down the gutter, and I will continue to fund it. All right? With my own money. The Margaret Sanger did a good thing. We don't need any more impoverished black children. Not even one. No black children should be born in families earning less than $150,000 a year. If you earn less than that, you ain't got the money or the funds to have the child, and it should absolutely be aborted for free. That's just my thought.